When a dispatcher gives a unit in the field a direction, such as respond to the call, why does the police officer, medic, or firefighter listen to them, especially when the dispatcher is a civilian? This is because of delegated authority, which is how a structure with a hierarchy operates. Lines of legitimate control flowing down from the top. Today we explore how and why this works. This is Lifeline. Hello and welcome back to another episode of Lifeline 911 with your host, Erica.
Hello.
I'm your co-host, Gary, and today we are discussing delegated authority, how it works and how it operates. So in many places in life, you have what's called a hierarchy, where you have somebody at the top who's a executive, and then they have people below them who carry out their orders, and then people below them, and so forth, until you reach sort of the frontline person that is interacting with the customer or the whatever the organization interacts with. If it's the military, it's probably not a customer, more like an enemy combatant, but you know how it is.
Yeah, that's exactly how it works, and that's our life. That's where we do our business.
Yeah. And so when we have this sort of delegated authority, what it means is that when you're doing your job and acting in accordance with your position, you're doing so with the authority delegated to you, given to you, through your chain of command up to, the chief of police, who gets their authority from, either the mayor, city council, what have you, and then ultimately who derive their authority from the people of the county or the city.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly it.
So why sometimes do we hear people that dispatch for police, fire, or EMS, why do we hear them, I guess, sometimes be a little timid once in a while when they do that?
Because they don't understand. They don't understand that they speak with, what I like to say is they speak with the authority of the chief. In our case, it would be you speak with the authority of the chief. Now, that doesn't mean you get to tell them what to do per se, right? You're not directing their tasks on scene, but you have the authority to send them to the call, and they agreed by signing on to hear that voice and respond to that delegated authority. It's I like to put it as simply as they signed up to go, you signed up to send them.
Right. A very apt and precise and concise way to say that, I would say, because when you have, the sort of delegated authority, like the chief of police can't be everywhere all the time telling each individual unit where to go to a call and such as that.
Mm-hmm.
So they rely on passing that authority through, dispatchers to make sure all of the, various units, whether it's, 12 deputies in a small county or, 300 officers on a busy metropolitan radio,
Mm-hmm.
that they can get out where they need to go, handle the calls they need to handle.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the way it works in, no matter, like you said, no matter the size of the department, whether it be police or deputy, it doesn't, even fire or EMS, it has to work that way because they cannot be in all those places at once. And everybody understanding their role in that chain of command is what makes the whole thing work, which is why it causes me to tilt my head a little bit to the side when I hear, especially in our case, police, because that's what we do. When I hear dispatchers key up and say, "Are you available? Can you?
Yeah.
Would you?" I'm waiting on,
Please.
oh my God, I would lose my mind completely. Not because,
Would you please start for this
Oh my
homicide? Thank you.
God. I'm waiting for one of them to say no. No, no,
Yeah,
don't want to. Don't want
yeah,
to. I almost wish that would happen. So then now what you gonna do?
yeah. Then
Because you're
you're
not
up.
operating in the authority that you've been given. Not big
Mm,
head, not arrogant, not because I told you to or because I said so, but in your job title, dispatch, it means to send somewhere for a purpose. That's one of the
yeah.
descriptions, is to
Mhm.
send someone, a specific person, to a place on an errand with a specific end in mind. That is what it is. And if you're operating in the authority that's been given to you within the boundaries of it, that's literally delegated authority. And
Yeah.
if you notice, authority does not often include please with the option of you saying, no, I don't really want to.
Hmm.
We would never get anything done.
And I think that some of that probably becomes like some of the questions we get on that probably come from people being unfamiliar with what a hierarchy is,
Yeah.
delegated authority, what that exactly entails.
Mhm.
But in a paramilitary organization like a police department, a fire department, or EMS, there is a structure to the order,
Yeah.
and things come from above, go down below for orders to be carried out and be executed.
Yes.
And if you don't understand that, you might think it's harsh or
I hear that.
cruel
I hear that a
or
lot.
impolite to say
That's the
something.
main one that I hear.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I get it. I get it because I've had many a dispatcher say to me, but it's a police officer. Yes. I'm waiting for the rest of your point. Well, I don't get to tell them what to do. No, you don't. The chief through you does. And
mhm,
I have to twist and bend and give that uh explanation or example. I have to give it many different ways a lot of times before it will end. But the one that hits home usually is that definition of dispatch.
yeah,
When they hear that, they go, oh, that's all your job is. You have a destination, you have a task or an emergency that must be dealt with. So since
mhm,
you, who are not a sworn officer, cannot go, somebody has to go in your place. So someone has to go and deal with that. And so for you, all you're really doing is using the authority given to you by the chief, which all the way back down to when they hired you, they said, okay, we're going to teach you how to send them. That's really all this is. And it's not as dark and scary or disrespectful at all. Matter of fact, without that structure, without that order, this does not get done.
mhm. Yeah, and it really adds many layers of complexity uh, when you have somebody who's trying to beat around the bush about asking a unit to respond to a fire, to
Do you see my
a
eye twitching
stabbing,
right now? Do you see my eye twitching? Go ahead. I'm sorry. Mm.
because then like it or if like we've had some times where there may have been multiple units that were available in an area of town, and a call comes in, and then the dispatcher's like, holding such and such call at this location, would it anyone to start? And then you just have those crickets where people are like, I I don't want to go. I don't know. Am I closest? Who should go? I like. Well, I'll just sit here quietly until something else happens.
Yeah.
And
And
yeah,
what's funny about that is I know many a police officer and have known many of them throughout my career. And they will tell you, I'm waiting on you to take charge. when you ask them that, when you talk to them, they're like, I'm waiting on you to dispatch me. I know that I signed up to go, and I know you signed up to send me. So you want me to send myself? Is that what's
Hmm.
happening here?
Yeah. Then
And
why do I even need you?
well, yeah, and it disrupts the flow. Everybody understands what it is, and human nature suggests that they're just going to sit there and go, wonder how long it's going to take him or her to figure out that they're supposed to just point to one of us, ideally the
Mm.
closest one, and say, here's the call. You're not saying go because I said so. You're saying, Adam 357, there's a, robbery at 123 Main Street. I will show you en route, meaning, here you. Is he call? Huh.
Put them together.
Put them together. Officer, it's that round thing in the middle there. You see that, and then 10 and 2, and it's a pedal on the right. What?
Hmm. Yeah, because it helps provide clarity to what's happening, and because otherwise, if you have dispatchers that are hesitant to send, then what you'll end up with a lot of times is calls that are just sitting undispatched on, and officers, medics, fire. This applies to all of them. We work with police, so that's kind of where we come from.
Yeah.
But um, officers just sitting unused when they could be responding to these calls, and just for no reason other
And it's
than
like,
nobody wants to be impolite. Where,
yes.
which is a silly reason. We'll say silly.
Yes.
At best, because you, as the dispatcher or whoever is the dispatcher, you have the best view of what's going on in that part of town. You can see. I don't know if anybody doesn't dispatch with a computer-aided dispatch anymore, but if you have computer-aided dispatch, then you can see where the calls are on your computer map, where the units are on your computer map, and or if you have a sheet of paper, that's how they used to do it back in the day.
Sure.
Yeah, and you'd send the units to the calls, but it doesn't make anything work better when you don't have somebody. It's not like the captain of a ship, because you're not, as you said, you're not going out there and like telling them, okay, I want you to handle the call this way.
No.
You're just saying, hey, this thing you do, it's needing to be done over there. So go ahead.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yes. Yes. And that best view you're talking about, when I'm training, I tell people, you have the bird's eye view. And that is absolutely the truth, because our maps are situated in an aerial view of the city or the sector that we are in control of. And we can see all of the cars that are either on calls or available for service. We can see all of them and what they are doing and in proximity to what call. And so that bird's eye view allows me to go, this one matches this one because it's the closest one. And then the next closest one. It is literally coordinating a response using the authority that's been delegated to you by your hierarchy, and in our case, our chief, because that's really who does primarily. I mean, we work for the city, yes, but if we're going to keep it simple, it comes from the chief, and this has to get done. And so the dispatcher's bird's eye view, on top of the authority that they've been delegated to wield, to use, to exercise, it's a match made in heaven. So when I hear please, or I'm holding this call and I'm looking at a dispatcher's got 15 units in service, and you see my eye, Gary, it's starting to twitch. I have issues because I'm like, why are we waiting? And I get it. You respect law enforcement. You have a passion to serve, a passion to help. You realize that you are in a position of support, right? Because that's what we are. We are a support unit. But that you're not supporting when you're not doing what you're supposed to do. You're doing
Right.
more of a hindrance than anything.
Yeah, and you're letting nicety, politeness get in the way of what needs to be done.
Yes.
Like, because when you work in, either the emergency services field, like, or how about this? Like, imagine if you would, like, the military and, the movie Saving Private Ryan, or,
Yep.
what have you. You wouldn't expect the general to be like, ooh, okay, Tom Hanks, go out there and, go find Matt Damon for me. And then, Tom Hanks is with his group of guys, and he's like, well, I guess, I see some, places over there we should go to. Anybody want to go? Anybody? Anybody? You know, it wouldn't work. And it's not, again, it's not being cruel or
No.
unprofessional. If anything, it's being very professional
Yes.
when you sort of dispassionately dispatch on these disastrous incidents that are occurring.
And I'll tell you, and then when you said that, it just kind of made me think of what if someone who does not know any better, right? Like say a citizen is or has an emergency, and if they knew or suspected that when it's time to go help them, or when if they knew that this is how it's done, where they are like, hey, this person's been shot over here. Is anybody? Them not
Bueller.
yeah, them not even knowing what it is that we do, they know that doesn't even sound right.
Yeah. Yeah.
With no expertise, no experience in what it is that we do, they have enough everyday common sense to know, isn't somebody supposed to tell them where it is and they supposed to go? What's with this couch talk conversation that appears to be happening? As if, you ask implies that there is an opportunity for them to say no and it be okay.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, and again, like, it's not like we're talking about it from a law enforcement perspective, but like, if you think about any job that you've ever had, like when I was a cashier,
Mhm.
like I wouldn't just expect to like stand around the front and then maybe meander over to a station. My boss would say, you're working checkout counter number 4. This is back when you had human beings who would actually check you out and you didn't do it
You
yourself.
still have those, Gary. You just have the option. Me personally, I like checking myself out when it's because I can take my time. I don't have to worry about somebody behind me. I'm just la la la, and I like to hear the thing go beep. Anyway, carry on.
Okay. But yeah, it's not an odd concept. It's not a unique concept, but it seems to be for a lot of people that come into the profession, they really have a hard time with that.
They do.
And I don't know if it's because, as you said, they don't want to be telling a police officer what to do, or
But you're not.
being mean. Yeah.
I've had them tell me it's downright disrespectful. Well, that's just disrespectful. Well, I'm gonna need you to get past that because this is the job. And then I arm them with the tools and the understanding of what their job really is. And then I sit back like this and I wait for you to comply. Because with my delegated authority as your trainer, I'm saying, here are the steps. Here's the task. Here are the steps. Do it. And it's not, please. It's get her done.
Is it? Yeah. I mean, it seems pretty clear to me. It makes dispatching a lot easier.
Oh,
when
so much more.
When you're not thinking about any of that other stuff, like, oh, this unit over here, he just went to a call, but there's this call right next to him. Let me see if I can, help his day out, or just pick the closest person, send them to it.
Let's see.
It makes it much easier. Makes
Wait
your
for
life
it.
easier. Makes their life easier.
Call cop. hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And they go 10-4 or whatever, a firm, whatever your language is. When you do it that way, it is so smooth. Where you start having hiccups is when now you have to try to figure out who is going to answer the question, please, that you just asked, which was unnecessary to begin with. And when that doesn't happen, now what do you do, baby dispatcher? Because usually that's who you see doing that. Typically, you do have some
Yeah.
veterans that get confused by their role, and I think that's because they slept too long or something. I don't know, but they know. But it's usually baby dispatchers that do that. And I get it because in the very beginning, you are legacy, so it's probably a little different for you. But me, I did not come from a law enforcement family outside on either side of the radio. So for me, I didn't have anything. I do remember feeling like, is a police officer, you want me to do what? I don't know what I thought they did on the other side of that door before I walked in.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot all about Chips and Hill Street Blues and any of the shows that I watched before. And none of those dispatchers say, sir, do you mind? Please.
If you
No,
have time.
no. They all key up and they say in their very robotic sounding tones, this is the call. This is where it is. You, and maybe even you too. Hop two.
Yeah. And like when, when you have a dispatcher that starts doing that, it only takes a few minutes and then everything in the sector seems to get much easier, like much more coordinated, much better understood because everything's flowing. Because your job as the dispatcher is to be coordinating all these different pieces that are moving around so they can do their job. Because if they're distracted trying to figure out your job, then it slows everything down.
Or waiting on you to actually, I don't know, wait for it, do it.
Yeah.
That's confusing too.
Yeah. And as you said, what you need to do is in the title, dispatcher.
Yes.
Dispatch.
To send someone to a destination with a specific purpose. That's the gig.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Makes life so easy.
Well, speaking of a specific purpose, I think it's time to bring back some questions from you all in our mailbag segment.
Woo!
Ding, ding, mailbag's here. It's the sound we love to hear. Quick and bright, the vibe is clear. Let's read your words with a cheer.
Our first question comes from Fire Truck Fan 89. How do dispatchers know what unit is closest when sending police or EMS?
Funny you should ask.
Yeah.
We have this nifty thing called computer-aided dispatch, and in some agencies, ours in particular, we have GPS capabilities on the cars, and so we can see where they are in proximity to the calls as they come out. We can see the ones that are on calls and actively working and busy and not available. We can see the ones that are out to lunch. We can see the ones that are just kind of sitting in the nearest, parking lot, writing a report, or even just available waiting to be dispatched someplace. So that's how we know. And our goal is to send the closest equipped unit to handle whatever said emergency is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And prior to all of this fancy dancy computer technology, people had, paper and maps, and, you just have your pen in it with your unit and move them around, and whenever you called them, they'd give their location. So, like 1 Adam 12, where are you? 1 Adam 12, 5th and Levine, or whatever.
Yeah. And actually, when I started, that's how it was, because we had computer-aided dispatch, but we did not yet have the GPS capabilities. And so it was literally like you said. I would have my queue, and I had a part of my screen that would tell me where the call is and the unit that is attached to that call. And so I would have a general idea, but I didn't know for sure if they had left that location and moved on to someplace else. So I didn't have that benefit. So what I would do is I would say, let's say Adam 112, and Adam 112 would key up, I'm at 5th and Lavaca. And I'm like, you spoke, okay, not the closest, disregard. You know, Adam 113. And they would say, I'm at 5th and Lavaca. Okay, cool. I need you over here at 6th and Congress because you're the closest. But that's how we did it. But then also we would rely on our memory in a lot of things because you didn't, you just got to the place and you got good at remembering where they were last you spoke to them, because typically it's not that long. It's not hours on end before in between times that you speak to them. So you would remember a lot of things too. I just dated myself. Fine.
Bumber Gnome 1174 asks, do emergency operators ever get counseling after hearing really traumatic calls? This may have been in relation to an earlier episode we did.
Yeah, absolutely they do. They can. We talk to them, or they have the ability to say, hey, I need to speak to someone. But a lot of times as leadership, as Gary and I are in these centers, we get pretty good at recognizing when a call might impact someone. And we will offer them, an extra break or whatever. But yes, to answer your question, yes, they are absolutely able to and are welcome to and encouraged to speak to someone. And we have quite a few resources for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and as, sort of frontline supervisors like Erica and I are, it's always a good idea to go down and check on people. Sometimes they're going to just be like, hey, you just took that, massive shooting call where like 18 people died. You need a minute?
You
Like,
okay?
No, that's fine. I don't care.
And no, Gary, they don't say that. But they are, and I'm
Some
glad
of them do.
True, but at the same time, but there are those that think that they are fine.
Right.
And then they go home, they attempt to lay head to pillow and then realize, oh, wait, I'm not fine, because now the adrenaline is worn off and now they're alone with their thoughts and they're in their quiet place, which is home. And now there's no other people around in the building to distract them from what they're thinking and feeling. And they are, they realize, oh, wait, I might need to talk to somebody, or I don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that does happen.
Yeah, well, which is why it's always important to check up on each other as often as you can.
Yep.
And Holla Back Girl 193 asks, what's the strangest or funniest kind of call dispatchers tend to get?
Holla back, how much time do you have?
Sounds like she's pretty busy by her username.
The time, is it the types of calls? The types?
The strangest or funniest kind of call dispatchers tend to get.
Funniest. Oh my God, I would have left some sort of a warning with that. What do you think, Gary? Because we have strange. Okay, I'll go strange.
Okay.
Strange and funny. When people call to complain about the weather.
Yeah. It's hot.
I've had a couple that call to complain about it's raining or it's hot out or something like that. I've even had people call that need help with things that have absolutely nothing to do with the police. They are upset because the president is in town and all these different
Blocking
routes
traffic.
are blocked off. And my favorite thing to do is give them the number to the White House. Yeah.
For me, I like on Halloween, you typically have a lot of, I think, very funny calls.
Yeah, that's true.
Some of them are not so funny, but for the purposes of this question, you'll get people that are, a little drunk, and they might be like walking home from a party, something where, they're not in any danger. The people around them aren't in any danger. But you'll get a funny thing like, I see, Batman on the street and he's singing loudly to himself or
Yeah,
something, or
yeah.
like, so those are kind of funny. And then, you might get messages from your units that are like Batman or like I'm on it, Robin, or something
Yes, and
funny
then they
like
start
that.
cutting up. Yeah,
Um, just
Casper is walking down the street, kind of thing. Yeah, you're like, okay,
yeah. And those are kind of nice, especially since they're usually juxtaposed with a lot of unnice and unfunny calls that
yes,
happen on Halloween. So
oh yes,
I tend to like those quite a bit.
yep, I can agree with that. Yeah,
And we hope that y'all tended to like us quite a bit today. We appreciate you all joining us for this episode on Delegated Authority. If you have any questions, please feel free to send them in. We love answering them and hearing about them and reading what interesting insights or concerns y'all may have.
yep. Oh, and don't forget, next week we will be on location.
Yes, Erica and I are going to Dallas for a conference, so we will be remote for the next few episodes. I
Yep.
look forward to that.
Yep, it's gonna be so much fun. We'll keep y'all posted on all the shenanigans.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you like and subscribe and even leave a comment down below. From all of us at Lifeline 911, I'm Gary,
I'm Erica.
and we will see you next week.
Thank you for watching our production of Lifeline 911. If you have any questions about today's topic or topics you'd like us to cover in the future, please reach out to us at lifeline911podcast@gmail.com. This has been a production of Lifeline 911 Podcast, copyright 2025. From all of us at Lifeline, stay safe out there. And until next time, this is Lifeline 911 signing off.